Welcome back to another exciting installment of Pestrogen Podcast. Today, Jenny and Kandyce are joined by a special guest from the pest control world. Someone many of you probably recognize if you're in the online pest control groups. What starts as a casual conversation quickly turns into a deep dive into the realities of bug identification, the gap between lab knowledge and field experience, and what it actually takes to get things right in this industry. They swap stories about real-world encounters, the challenges of working with less than perfect information, especially those client photos, and the small details that can make or break a proper ID. Along the way, they also get into the human side of the job, navigating online communities, handling pushback, and building confidence in your knowledge. It's equal parts insight, experience, and honest conversation, giving you a behind-the-scenes look at the people and thinking that go into pest control every day.
It's time for the Pestrogen Podcast with your hosts, Jenny and Kandyce.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Pestrogen Podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Kandyce, and with me, as always, is the beautiful and lovely birthday girl today, Jenny Wilson. How are you doing, baby? How's your week been? And happy birthday!
Thank you. I'm doing well. I turned 34 today, and I'm kind of sad that my birthday fell on a Saturday, and I didn't even go. I really wanted to go to a Hardy concert that was in Indiana, and I never ended up being able to do it. But it is what it is, adulting.
Yep.
But I had a really good day. We had some family come over, and yeah, and a decent, good week. I got to go to Indianapolis. I got to do some pretty cool termite jobs. Termites are swarming in Indiana. Woo! It's good,
Nice.
good times. But how are you, Miss Kandyce?
I'm doing good. It's been an okay week, especially for the end of the month. I know we originally didn't have anything planned for Monday and Tuesday, but work has gotten moved there because it's like we just ran out of time on certain ones. But next week on Wednesday and Thursday, me and Brandon are part of the South Coast Housing Development, I can't remember the whole thing, seminar thing. We are one of the sponsors for it as a company. So we're going to go do that for both days.
That's cool.
Listen to all of that fun stuff. Go mingle, get in with them because they are building a new, income-driven, low-income housing development that doesn't fall under our housing authority currently. So we're hoping we can sneak in there before another company gets it and destroys it.
Yes.
Before housing takes it over, and they have to go, oh my God, please go fix this.
Yes. That's what's up. Get that networking.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
That's what we're going to be doing
Yay.
a couple of days next week.
That's awesome. Oh, yeah.
And for all of you watching us, and you can see our lovely third lady, this is the beautiful and lovely, and I'm sure if any of you are in any type of pest control group on Facebook, you have seen her comment on lots of things. It's Morgan Kerr. Oh my God.
Yes.
Hi.
Thank you so much
everybody.
for joining us.
I'm so
It is my
excited for
pleasure. Yeah, as am I.
that.
This is awesome. This is probably the greatest birthday gift ever. Is having
Jenny,
you on the podcast.
The honor is mine. The honor is truly mine. Thank you so much for having me. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
No, I haven't been in this very long. Me and Jenny about the same, about 4.5, 5 years, wherever. And I kept noticing your name popping up, giving proper identifications with all the background of it. And this is why it's this and not this. And I'm going, okay, well, she's pretty goddamn smart. And then seeing some of these big crybabies just freak out because, oh my God, a girl told me the right answer and it can't possibly be that. And then your rebuttal to it just cracks me up every goddamn time. I just love it. It's how do you come up with some of this stuff? I swear.
Honestly, so first of all, thanks for the compliments. Honestly, I'm just having fun. I'm practicing identification. I'm learning. I love to be in these groups and just see what everybody else sees and gets up to. But as far as my responses to things, it's been a process because you know how inside thoughts sometimes should just stay inside thoughts. yeah, it's a balance of being myself and being, honestly, I use this word, I know some people don't, but like being a professional, because I am a part of a really large company. I'm a corporate person in a large company. Sometimes I can't say exactly what I'd like to say all the time. What y'all, those inside thoughts, but yeah, just keep it factual, keep it buttoned up, keep it fun. So that's
Yeah.
my shtick.
That's perfect though, because you do keep it factual. There's never like a comment about like you're stupid. How did you not know this? Or, you have a big fat head, or it's always just the facts of this is why it's this spider and not this spider, or this ant and not this ant. I know they're really closely related and it's really hard to tell, but this is what it is. I know you helped me once on an ID, or it might have been Brandon, I can't remember. But yeah, all you did was you lightened up the picture so we could see it better. Oh, it was for a roach, I think. And you were like, yeah, it's a German roach. You're good. And I was like, okay, sweet. Because yeah, we were thinking it was something else and I can't remember now. But yeah, it's like, that's all you did was just lighten up the picture, because it was obviously came from a freaking tenant that can't take a picture of something to save their soul.
Mm-hmm.
Don't we get it that a lot?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my
I
God.
feel like that's one of like the skills that I've developed the most, just by being in these groups and seeing photos that people post from all over, is just like, how to identify something from a totally trash photo. Like, that's its own skill. Like, it doesn't matter if
Yeah.
you're good at identifying things from perfect photos or perfect specimens. Like, yeah, okay, great. That's like step one. But I feel like it's a level up your skill by being able to identify things from the type of photos that we get from clients, or that we're trying to take, like in a crawl space, like
Yeah.
that's what we really need.
Yes,
Yeah.
that definitely, because I think I've gotten maybe 5 good photos from a client. And sometimes, like, if they're sending them to me via text, I'm like, can you try again to get it a little bit clearer, a little bit more light? Put it on, if it's a darker bug, put it on lighter background. Give me that contrast.
Mm-hmm.
And it does work sometimes, but not always.
Sometimes. I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I actually I don't have a YouTube channel. Like, I don't do YouTube. I have one video on my YouTube channel, and it's like a how-to video on like how to take a photo of a bug. Because I was so annoyed by all of the trash photos that I got. And I was like, okay, this is clearly a skill, that like how to take a photo of something really small with a phone. Who does that? It's not like something that's easy or intuitive. So I made this video, and whenever
Right.
people are repeatedly sending me like the blurriest, it's like in the shadow of the phone, and I'm like, let me help you. So I made this little video, and it's helped actually quite a bit.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. I love that.
I'm going to have to go find that just to send it
Yeah.
to
I
people
will
when they send me
gladly share
shitty
it. Yeah.
photos.
Yeah.
Send it far and wide.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
'Cause, yeah.
recently
okay.
had the most amazing moment where I found a bug specimen in a medical office that had amazing lighting. And I was like,
Nice.
oh, I wish every account had this awesome
Mhm.
lighting.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's really nice.
I got a really good photo of odorous house ants outside of my client's daughter's window. They were like in the windowsill, but I threw a little bit of Advion gel bait right there, and they just started swarming it. But like the picture that I got of it, you could see it's full gasters. So it's like you could literally just like, there were boop. And I was just like, hell yeah. I'm like,
Perfect.
this is the
Yes.
kind of picture we need.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Because like, yeah, the super zoom in on your phone and then snap the picture isn't always the best way. Like, get the nice clear picture, and then when you send it, we can zoom in on it.
Exactly. Yeah. Lots of little tips and tricks, and that's like an art form in itself.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We should start having those classes for like continuing education, because even some techs don't take good picture.
Totally.
Facts.
Completely agree.
Mm-hmm. And I know I have sent quite a few specimen photos to Morgan, and it's been amazing. And recently she even tagged me in something and was like, photo credit of Jenny Wilson. I was like, oh, that's so cool. It's like the fruition of a year ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, because
Can I tell that story?
Yes, absolutely.
Please, sorry to interrupt. I
Yeah.
mean, I
No,
love that
go
story
ahead.
so much. What happened was like you had like sent me a photo of like, hey, what's this? And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I know that those are mites. I don't know what they are. And I think I
Right.
just told you like those are weird mites. End of story.
Yeah.
And then literally a year later, somebody else on LinkedIn posted a photo of those same mites. And I was like, I recognize these. These are Jenny's mites. And you know, he had identified them as winter, gosh, were they winter grain mites or some kind of winter mite?
Yeah.
But anyway, I reached out to you and I was like, I'm a year late. So you've probably solved the problem by now, but I feel so excited to be able to tell you like this is what they are. And that's honestly what I love so much about like just doing stuff like this is like the things that you learn. And you know, that's the memory recall from like a year ago is it was just a really fun thing. So thank you for providing that learning opportunity.
Well, now you're always going
Absolutely.
to remember those mites. They're not going to be
Yes.
winter grain mites or whatever. They're going to be Jenny's mites.
Yes,
Yeah, and
exactly.
that's the amazing thing about the internet is that I spend so much time like I'm studying independently for my ACE and things like that, whatever, but I love scrolling through Facebook and looking at all identification groups and whatever, and then I get my own specimen photos and I send them to Morgan or whoever, and it's all of it is a process, and it's a fun process, and it helps build those memory moments of like, oh yeah, I dealt with such and such, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Me and
always like
Brandon-
it's never ending. Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Brandon have a game anytime we see, you know, what pest ID or, you know, ID this for me, please. We'll try to identify it. And we don't have like the crazy different species of anything here. But especially if like we see that you have commented on it, we'll try to identify it before seeing your comment just to see if we were right. We're like, and then if, you know, we match it, we're like, fuck yeah. We get so excited if we got it right. And if we didn't, we'll read like, because you're never just like, oh, this is what it is. It's this is what it is, and this is why this is what it is. So
Yeah.
we'll read everything that you wrote about it, and we're like, oh, okay, I can see why I thought it was this, but that little differentiation, okay, it makes okay, I got it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love hearing that. I mean, always intend for it to be like a learning thing, right? Because
Oh yeah.
so many times people have said like, it's great to get the identification, but like, I want to know why, right? Why?
Yeah.
Like, or if you've got a post where like, there's like 5 or 6 or 10 or more different identifications on it, it's like, how do we know? Like, what's right here? And if, you know, somebody provides an explanation as to like, well, it has this or it doesn't have that, like, that stuff tends to stick. And it's like, that's how we learn. So, yeah, I love that.
Yes. Yes, I know, like, the one that I remember the most with you and arguing with people was over a roach, and everybody was labeling it a German roach, but I don't remember what it was, but I know it was an outdoor roach, and you explained that, and these people were just like, oh, you just need to clean your house, blah, 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 and you're like, it's an outdoor roach. Why are we freaking out over this? And people were going crazy on you over it. So I remember I brought it into Pestrogen, and I'm like, dude, this is just amazing watching these people try to downplay your knowledge, and you're just like, no, just shut up.
Well, you know,
Yes.
the explanation is both like it's for learning and for teaching, but it's also like a little bit of a defense mechanism for exactly that because I anticipate in these groups, you know, especially on Facebook, on social media, you know, nobody tends to know who other people are. We're all on even ground. We're all, you know, in the same playing field. And so if I identify something, somebody else comes in and identifies it differently, they're the same, right? So I anticipate disagreement. I anticipate different ideas. And so when I say like defense mechanism, it's like the explanation helps to just kind of like elevate certain information over others. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're
Yep.
not just going off, well, it's this color and that color, and it's approximately this size. That's why it's this. You're giving a broader explanation of it. It's, yes, it is that color and it is this color, but it's also this size and it's living here and it's doing this in a habitat and whatever, in bringing more to the table than just, oh, it's that color. Okay.
Right.
I try.
Absolutely.
You do a good job at it. You really
Yes.
do.
Thank you. Like I said, it's fun.
How
So-
long
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, how long have you been in pest control in whole?
Just a little more than 8 years, actually. So,
Nice.
that's when I like joined the industry. That's when I got my first job in the pest control industry. But I've always been an entomologist, always. So I kind of just never grew out of my bug phase. I think a lot of kids have a bug phase, and I just continued. And so the whole like identification and learning biology and raising bugs and that kind of stuff has just always been a part of my life. So that way, when I joined the pest control industry, it's not as if I was starting from zero in terms of like the bug knowledge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Now, do you actually have a degree in entomology?
I do, yeah. So when I joined the
Nice.
pest control industry, yeah, I had a bachelor's degree in biology, and then my company paid for my master's degree in entomology. So I got that in,
That's awesome.
yeah, for sure. I got that in 2022, and I'm currently enrolled in a PhD program because I'm not busy enough. And
Nah.
yeah, it's just like I said, it never ends. I'm really excited to continue that. Yeah, so still full-time work, part-time school.
Nice.
That's
You already have a
amazing.
master's degree. You're going for a PhD. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? You don't have to answer.
I'm a few months younger than Jenny.
Okay, perfect.
Shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Damn,
So
girl.
we're super young. No, I'm kidding.
We are. There's so much life ahead of us. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, you guys are
Yes.
younger than me, so yeah, you're super young.
Exactly. Yep. You know, life is just starting.
Yeah.
Totally.
Were you doing anything else minus school and all of that fun stuff prior to getting into pest control?
Not really. I mean, I'll be honest with you. When I was in college, like getting my bachelor's degree, I knew I wanted to work with insects, but I was a hater of the pest control industry because anybody who wants to do entomology and you're like studying that in school, like you're kind of pushed towards the pest control industry because that's where the jobs are. And you know, for
Yeah.
somebody who loves bugs and like wants to study them and had no exposure to the pest control industry, I had this misconception about it that I think a lot of people have, right? That it's just like people who don't care about the environment or animals or whatever, just indiscriminately killing things.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I wanted to like study moths in the Amazon rainforest, which I'll be honest, doesn't pay well. So, you know, that's why we all kind of funnel to pest control. So, my first job was working for a very large company, which I still work for today. I've only ever had one company, the pest control industry, and I got a job like working in their insectary, right? So raising bugs and doing product testing and innovation, so new equipment and protocols and that stuff. But yeah, my first job was just raise the bugs, right? Keep a healthy, happy colony and like support the science of pest control. Yeah, so prior to that, it was just kind of like random lab tech jobs, like not related to entomology, not related to pest control, but getting kind of like lab experience. So yeah, I've, like I said, 8 years in the industry, all with the same company, started out as a lab technician, and nowadays I'm like on the innovation team. So, you know, making new equipment and protocols and continuing to evaluate products that are already out there in the market and see if they're a good fit for our service protocols.
That's awesome.
That is really cool.
I love it.
That's kind of one of the neatest things for me in my career when I met Kevin Weiner of All Bugs Go to Kevin, is that he has the same background as us, but the same passion as you.
Yes.
And it was such a beautiful moment meeting him because I feel the same in the way that I love what we do as an industry and protecting public health and whatever, but I also love
100%.
conservation. Like, yeah, so it's definitely a double-edged sword in our industry because there are folks out there that just like maybe don't care as much as we
Spray
do
and pray,
about
baby.
exactly. Yeah, so it's definitely a science.
Yes.
Totally. And the
It
industry
really
needs
is.
people like us. You know, like we
Yes.
need people that are like, that understand and care about the balance of like, yes, obviously I want to kill this thing for you because it's causing you harm or damage or whatever. Like, it's obviously very, very important, but to have the balance of like environment is important. It's public health is important. So yeah, I say I was a hater before coming into the pest control industry, and I really just got this job because like I want to work with bugs, but I'm fully converted. I am totally sold on, improving quality of life, protecting health and mental safety and all that. Like pests are such an emotional thing, and just improving the quality of life I'm all in.
That's
Yes.
awesome. Now with your degrees and everything, have you actually ever worked out in the field, like with another tech or anything, or has it always just been like in the labs in the corporate setting?
This is such a good question because I wish I had more. And I know that there's often this like disconnect with academics and people who work in a lab or a corporate setting about like, you have no idea what goes on in the field, like in reality. And so it's so important for people like me and in roles like me to just get out there and see it and experience it. And like I said, I wish I did more of it, but I do ride-alongs. Like I do go out into the field and I am licensed and I help train to our protocols. So I go out there and I see it firsthand. Like I said, I wish it was more. I wish I had time to do more because it's never enough, right? And that's why I love these groups so much, right? These social media groups for pest control, because I feel like it's a great supplement. It's not the same, of course, as, full experience out there and like being in the field, but I'm trying to soak up as much knowledge as I possibly can about like what's it like out there, because I can only do so much from the ivory tower, right? So yeah, I guess the short answer is yes, ride-alongs, yes, field test, execution and a little bit of training, but I wish it was more.
That's cool that you actually have done it and do like to do it, because like you said, like lab results and actual real world out in the field results aren't always the same. Like we don't have perfect conditions like a lab. So you being able to see that and bring it back to your, as you said, ivory tower can help change the protocol of everything that you do as a company and even as the whole industry together. Because when other companies are seeing your company change stuff up, and with as big as your company is, they'll be like, oh, well, they're doing it this way now because obviously the lab results are not matching the field results, but their new results are because they've changed it. Let's change.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead, Jenny.
No, it goes both ways. It's nice to be able to reach out to you too and be like, hey, like, I've never seen this. What is, like, you have a plethora of knowledge that us field people might not have. So it goes both ways. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I've seen like a little bit of digs, like a little bit of animosity, like going either way. Obviously, like there's a perception that like stuffy academics don't know, don't have never seen reality, and then there's also, a little bit of the opposite perspective where it's like, we know best and why aren't they doing it this way? Like that sort of thing. So the balance is super, super important, and, just experiencing both worlds. And, I am firmly of the opinion that we need each other. And, we do our best work when we have, those types of minds working together and sharing experience.
Definitely. Because, like, we can't do our job without you guys. You guys, well, really won't.
I'm not doing what you do. I'm not doing it.
I get asked that question all the time. How do you do this? And I'm like, somebody's got to do it. I mean,
yes,
might as well.
Yeah.
But
what?
I love that you are also a voice in like pestrogen and just a female voice in our industry that is super knowledgeable and willing to take a stand when it's like, hey, I know this or whatever. But like, you're super humble about it at the same time, but direct. And I love it because a lot of people are just like, wow, a female said fuck. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Facebook and social media is its own special place, right? So I have to
Yes.
say that on the whole, and in one-on-one experiences, I basically never experience, well, I won't say never, but like I very rarely experience like pushback and arguments and insults and like dismissal and stuff like that, like in person. But I will say that it's usually because, like, whenever I'm interacting with, the industry in person, it's like at a CEU event. And so, like, I have a speaker badge. And so the insults aren't really going to fly in that setting. But like I said
Right.
on Facebook, like, everybody's on neutral ground, even ground. And so, like, egos are big on Facebook and, like, just people behave differently. So, but yeah, to your point, Jenny, I do think that some people, it's not a majority of people, but some people are uncomfortable with a woman who is young and direct. Like I am direct. I don't hesitate to say that's wrong. And here's why. And I think a certain type of person is really uncomfortable with that. And it takes a really thick skin to engage in the way that I and we do sometimes. Because whenever, like somebody does kind of throw a temper tantrum, it's like, that's not a reflection of me, right? Like here I am saying what's true, and here's a research article to back it up. And if that upsets you, that's a you problem.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, the ones that like freak out and throw the temper tantrums, and then because they always end up name calling in some way, or because you have said fuck or any other swear word, they're like, "You're not being professional," and you're like, "It's Facebook. Calm
But anyone
down."
else
Yeah.
can. But
Yeah, everybody else can, but heaven forbid
Yeah.
if Morgan Kerr says fuck.
Honestly,
Like-
let's call it what it is, man. It's sexist. Like
It
I
is.
get this all the time in these groups where it's kind of locker room talk, right? We're not just talking about the specifics of pest control. We're talking about, social issues, and sometimes even pest control subjects like devolve into arguments or whatever. And I state, I swear, I love 4-letter words. Fuck is my favorite word, right? You can sprinkle it on everything. And so for me, this comes out, I can think of very specific examples. Recently, I said, I wouldn't fucking care. Or what the fuck is that? And both of those times, somebody, a guy, pushed back and said, oh, you don't have to be vulgar about it. And it's just amazing because again, the locker room talk is everywhere. What I just said is one of the most tame things that's been said here, but I really do think that it goes back to somebody's feeling uncomfortable that a young woman pushed back confidently, and me saying fuck is just the easiest thing to grab onto to kind of dismiss all of that. And I see that, and
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Absolutely. Yep. It's
No,
that
like-
double standard.
Yeah. And watching you just really, for lack of a better term, lady dick stamp these fucking morons that just can't figure shit out, and to not freak out because, oh, the girl told me so. Because it always boils down to that. And it's like, calm the hell down. Who cares what's in anybody's pants as long as they have the right information in their brain?
And
You asked a question, you got an answer. Who cares where it came from?
absolutely. And sometimes it's not even insect related. Sometimes it is social related, where it's like somebody was obviously being a total douchebag, and Morgan or myself or whatever decides to say, hey, you're being a complete douchebag right now. You're trying to pose a social situation and make it look like it's insect related, and it's absolutely not. Like when it comes to pronouns or whatever it is. And it's like when women stand up and say, hey, you're being a total douchebag, all of a sudden it's a problem. It's like, dude, whatever. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, egos are big on Facebook. Passions are high on Facebook,
Yes.
but also like it's really tough to read nuance. Like I'm totally confident that if we were having these conversations in person, like it wouldn't go like this, right? It would go differently.
No.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
ultimately, in addition to identifying things and learning about pest control, these groups are about community. They're about
Mhm.
networking, and I want to get along with these people. Like this is my industry. These are the people that I'm going to see at conferences. I might work with these people in the future, and I want to get along with them, but I also want to be my true self, right? And if I see nasty stuff, if I see nasty behavior, like I call it out. I say like, man, that's not cool. That's so unnecessary. Like this is a learning space, right? And Jenny, you've held me accountable for in the past, which I'm so grateful for. Like it's really easy for on a bad day, any one of us could be like, that's a dumb question, man. Like you should know that. That's not what we're here for, right? Like these communities are all about building each other up, learning from each other. Anybody can teach somebody anything, right? Something like you all know something that I don't know, and I know things that you don't. So like that's why we're here. So anyway, just going back to calling out icky behaviors and like planting my flag. That's what I'll call it. Like I plant a lot of flags in terms of like, this is my opinion. I think, but it really just comes down to like, what's factual? Like, what can we prove? Like, what can we support with like evidence? And what's right? Like, let's treat each other with respect, like let's build this community up and like not be dicks to each other. It's really easy. It's actually free to not be a dick. I don't know if, some people need to be reminded.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Cool. So we were talking about like community building and, making sure that shit's not only accurate, but also being kind to each other and building a community and networking and keeping it real.
Yeah, the one that like I don't know, it just like irks me the most, or like when somebody asks for like an ID of like an odorous house ant. Okay, for one, ants are hard to fucking ID sometimes because they're so damn small. And then it's like something very minor about between that one and this one, and it's they're already small, but yet it's already smaller to identify it. It's hard to tell. So they'll ask, hey, is this an odorous house ant? Is this a pavement ant? Is this a moisture ant? Whatever, whatever, whatever. And then you'll get the snarky ass remarks of, if you can't tell what that is, you don't need to be in pest control. Maybe that person just started a month ago. They're still working on their IDs. Calm the hell down. Like,
Totally.
There's no need for the bitchy, snarky remark about it. Give them the ID. Tell them why it is what it is. Look for this, that, and the other in the future. And go on your way.
Yeah. We all specialize in something different too. Like it's wild to me. Like some people literally only do termite and nothing else. And some people literally only do bedbug and nothing else. Some people like it's their first week in the industry and they were told to join this group. Like be kind to them, just like again, everybody knows something that you don't. So maybe just don't pretend like you know everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And just when you think you know everything, think again.
Yeah.
Because you don't.
Right?
Go relearn.
Yeah. Totally. My colleague taught me a new bug family like yesterday. She's like, I sent her a photo of a bug that I found at my desk, like this tiny, tiny little thing. And I put it under the microscope and I sent it to her. And I was like, I think it might be something like this. And she's like, actually, it looks like this family. And I'm like, never heard of that before. Never heard of it. So every single day, like all of us are learning something new. So, and that's exciting, right? Like instead of like bringing people down for not knowing something, like how cool is it that you get to be here while somebody learns something new? Cool.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
It's fun, like especially when you can, well, not obviously see it because it's all on social media, but when you can see like the light bulb go off in somebody's head, that they understand how to identify that now, or why this ant is this ant and not the other one that they've thought was that ant for 3 months and they've been treating wrong. And now they're going, well, shit, now I have to go fix this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've run into that moment and I've reached out to Morgan several times, is that I'm creating content for a trio pest control and I'm so nervous to get something wrong because I feel like it'll make me look unprofessional or whatever. But at the same time, my engagement in our industry shows my commitment to education and passion and whatever. And eventually I'm gonna get something wrong. And it's going to happen, but it's going to be a learning moment. And all my clients are still in good hands in the fact that I will always make sure I make it right in any way, shape, or form or whatever. But it's still that like nervousness in the back of my head. And that's why like Morgan has a company that has her at the backbone of the company. It's just like me and Kandyce, we work for small companies and we don't have like an entomologist at our side. So Morgan has been amazing in our community and even just like helping us little people like, hey, what's this, and it's beautiful. I love it. I love our community.
Yeah, I mean,
I really enjoy it. It's fun.
it is fun. And I think that people really just people in general, really like community learning. Like it's just so much more rewarding in my experience and in my opinion that like instead of like opening a book or like searching on your own, because there's like, you don't know, like, am I even on the right track here with this? Like, so bouncing ideas off of other people is, in my opinion, one of the best ways to learn things. And you get a smattering of thoughts and ideas from lots of different people, which is great, especially if it's not something that's like super hard and like, etched in stone. If it's more opinion based or if there are different perspectives about things, like, the value of community learning is just can't underestimate it.
Yes.
Yeah. I like seeing like all the, ID this for me posts for the simple fact that, like I said, I don't have a lot of different species that I deal with. Like we have odorous house ants, we have pavement ants, we have moisture ants and carpenter ants. We don't have fire ants here. We don't have citronella ants. I mean, we have like orb weavers here. A little bit further inland, we actually do have black widows. I almost said black recluse just for the joke.
Right.
A hybrid
Black
that we don't
widows.
need. We don't need that.
Yeah. No, please no. But like we don't even have like here on the coast, we don't even have like a lot of different snakes. We have gardener snakes. I mean, we have German roaches for the most part. We had one, at least my county area, we had like one import of a small population of American roaches that we were like, got pictures and we're sending them to everybody. And Brandon's like, I am pretty like 99% sure this is an American roach. I want to be 100% sure. And so we were sending them to Brad. I think we sent one to Jenny and then like Russell and like people that have dealt with them were like, is this what I think it is? Oh my God. Because then we had to learn from them how to treat them because we didn't know. We've never had to do it. So seeing like all these different obvious, I mean, there's not just 3 or 4 types of ants, there's millions, but being able to see all the different IDs and everything, and then seeing that you pretty much, I mean, I'm sure they're not all in your head. I'm sure you have to go look to be like, yes, it's this one. Yes, it's that one.
Yeah.
But, it's fun being able to see that you can do that. Like, it just snap of your finger, it seems like on social media that you're just like, bam, it's this one, bam, it's that one, boom, it's that one. And it's just like, well, goddamn, woman.
It's like a game. It's a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's fun. Like I said, it's how I, stretch that muscle. It's how I, keep, if you don't use it, you lose it. So it's, all practice is super valuable to me. At my company, I'm not even the person who does the majority of the identifications. We've got a whole separate, person, and she's like full time, and she does that, and it's kind of like a conveyor belt where like that's her primary job is just receive and identify, and I do other stuff. Like I said, I do innovation, like testing. And occasionally she'll send me like, hey, I don't recognize this, but I know you like moths. So like, what is this? And so like, she knows stuff that I don't, I know stuff that she doesn't, and we kind of like share that. So the fact that
That's
it's
cool.
not a routine part of my job is like, okay, so cool. I have to stretch this muscle. I have to get this experience, like daily experience elsewhere. So that I can keep up with it. So that's why I do it. And it's fun.
That's cool. I always figured you had a fascination with moths from like your first Facebook photo that I saw of you with like the moth across your face.
That's so cool.
It was such a cool photo.
I do love moths. They are my favorite by far. I'm actually looking across my room. I've got this like frame, like big frame with like 2 giant moths. They're called Atlas moths, and they are the largest moths in the world. They're an Asian species. and it's gorgeous. I love moths so much, and I know that moths are hated and they're like the ugly butterflies, but it's not true. There's like so many cool moths out there. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
my favorite.
Yes,
What
yes.
what was that moth that you had in that picture with you?
So that's called a polyphemus moth, and they are pretty much like on the entire eastern half of the United States. And they're pretty common as far as like the large moth species go. But yeah, they're like this big, like I don't know, 5 or 6 inches in wing diameter. And
Damn.
yeah, I actually found that because I found it as a caterpillar crawling across the parking lot at work, and I screamed. I was so excited, and I grabbed it, and like I was like holding it, and it was in its wandering stage, which means that like when a caterpillar is done eating, it bolts, and it just like it makes a beeline, and it just walks like as far away as it can go away from where it's eating. And then it like spins its cocoon or makes its pupa, and starts the metamorphosis process. But that's what was happening. So I picked him up, and he was like laying silk down on my hands, and I was like, oh shit, it's happening. He's trying to cocoon. And I brought him back to my desk. I got like a twig, and sure enough, he like spun up a cocoon. And I kept that sucker on my back patio all winter, because up north here we only get like one generation of those. Down south you'll actually get 2 generations. Anyway, so I raised him as my own, from a caterpillar all the way up to a moth.
You're a mommy to a moth.
I am.
That's so cute. I love it.
Was it sad the day that he flew away?
No, honestly, it was really like a release because like I said, I kept him on my back patio, but I'm always so worried about like I know it's their natural thing, like they survive the winter, but you can't help but like be worried, like did it die? Like did it survive? Like you can't really tell what's going on in the cocoon. And so I actually, when it started to become springtime, I wedged him in between my back door and the storm door. So like he would still be cold, he would still like experience the outdoor environment, but I wanted to contain it so that way, like when he did emerge, I could experience it, like I could see him and like hold him and whatever. And I actually found him because I opened up my patio door, and there was like this giant moth like hanging off of the doorknob, and I was like, and it was really exciting. And yeah, I was glad to like release him to live his 1 week moth life because I was kind of tired of like worrying about him in my storm door.
Fair.
So they
Very
yeah.
fair.
So they only have like, is it like all moths only have a 1 week life, or is it just
No,
certain species?
Yeah, certain species. It's this one particular family. It's actually the same family that Atlas moth belongs to that I was just talking about. They're called Saturniid moths, or like silk moths, and they don't have a mouth. So once they,
Oh.
emerge as an adult, they are only there to mate. They just fly, mate, die, kind of a thing. What a life. But
What
yeah,
a life.
it's really just that family that does that.
Oh, okay. See,
It's
you're
cute.
learning something all the time. I love it.
Right?
How do
Yes.
you keep like the pronunciation of all the Latin terms in like I mess up on chemicals that I use on the regular, like
Yeah.
trying to like say their like chemical name and whatever. I'm like blah blah blah.
Yeah, pronunciation does not matter. Seriously. I mean, like, people ask that a lot. In fact, I think somebody recently asked that in one of the groups, like, how do you pronounce this scientific name? And truly, and if you like, we encountered this, like, among my entomologist friends and in the entomology specific Facebook groups, like, don't even bother. Like, don't worry about it. Like, nobody's checking your pronunciation. It truly doesn't matter. Like, scientific names were mostly just created to like very specific, like species from each other. It's kind of like a barcode or like an SKU. You know what I mean? Like it's not intended to like be spoken or whatever. It's like this is your identifier so that we can tell you apart, like in science. And then as far as pronouncing it, like whatever. I mean, a lot of scientific names are like a mashup of Greek and English and Latin. So like pronunciation rules don't even matter at that point. So, just say it confidently, and that's what matters.
Good way to put it.
Yeah. I never
Yeah.
thought of it that way. I used to just like constantly like people, just be like, oh, that's a Norway rat. And then you'd have the ones come in going, and then have to use like the whole Latin name for it. And you're going, why does it matter? It's a
Mhm.
Norway rat. Like nobody is walking up to somebody, because I'm pretty sure like the roof rat is the ratus or something.
Mhm.
Nobody's walking up to their client and going, oh, you have ratus here. Nobody's
that. I
Yeah.
mean, I will say that like common names can be problematic at times because first of all, there are so many insects that like not all of them have a common name. In fact, most of them don't. But family names tend to be common. For example, like wolf spider. That's an entire family of spider, right? And that'll get you
Yeah.
far. Like if you can be but like recognize a wolf spider, you rarely, if ever, need to know the species of wolf spider that it is, right? Wolf spider, that behavior is pretty similar enough. Like just remember that family and you're good to go. But other ways that common names can be problematic is like sometimes the same common name is used for all kinds of different things, like palmetto bug. That one's a problem, especially in the South, where there's like all kinds of different cockroaches that are used for in that same common name. So people are like, wait a minute, I thought a palmetto bug looked totally different. And it's like, yeah, well, you use it to refer to some other species. But yeah, in most applications, like especially like client interaction, like you don't need the scientific name. No, that's for the scientific papers. That's for the CEU presentations or whatever. Set and
Right.
setting.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I noticed that the bio blitz I went to this year or last year, hopefully go again this year. I was on the spider team and I noticed that I believe he was an entomologist with us. That every time we brought him a wolf spider, he was like, because it was just so common in our area. So that's gotta be, yeah, learning all those families and stuff helps identify. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
That'd be like him
Mhm.
being mad at me for bringing an orb weaver. I'm like, dude, that's what we got, okay?
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
And I know there's
I mean,
different,
yeah. Like
mhm.
orb weaver is the largest family of spiders. So like when in
Yeah.
doubt, it's an orb weaver or a wolf spider. Like that'll take you pretty far
Yeah,
a lot of the times. But yeah, orb
pretty
weavers and orb
much.
weavers, especially in the context of pest control, is like they all kind of behave the same. They all, like remove the webs, like they all have that same behavior. So yeah, what we do often
Yes.
in my work, like when we identify for our, service operators is like just identify to the point of control, which is like identify until you figure out what to do about it. And then the rest of that does not matter.
That's a good point. Because, I mean, you
Absolutely.
don't need to
Yep.
know every little teeny identifier. Like you said, once you can control it, you get to that identifier of this is how you're able to control it. Stop there. Who cares about the rest of it? Just stop,
Totally.
control it there.
Mm.
That's a good point. I'm start telling
Yes.
people that. Who cares what all the other stuff?
Yeah. Point of
Yes.
control, right? Did you identify it to a point where
Yeah.
you know what to do? Great. Do that. Do not waste your time going further. I mean, if you're
Mhm.
curious, if you want to learn, like, cool, have at it. But like, just keep it moving.
Yes.
Yeah, because obviously, like with roaches, okay, roaches big, and then you have to identify it smaller to what kind because they are controlled differently. But after that, you don't need much more. Just where you can control them, there you go.
Generally, I
Yes.
mean, there are exceptions at times, but you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yes. So now that you're in the pest control field within entomology, do you feel like this is your like long-term goal in pest control?
I mean, where else can I go? Yeah, I'm a lifer. I'm pretty sure that I'm a lifer. Like I said, I'm fully convinced. I'm fully bought into the protecting public health and improving quality of life and all that stuff. And I've really just like dove into the deep end with urban entomology and pest arthropods. Like I said, moths are my favorite. And I was, early on, I'm like, I could be, studying tropical things, but no, I mean, this is where the need is, right? And so,
Yeah.
not just like I said, this is where the money is, and that's true, but it's really like this is where the need is. Pests cause people to suffer. They damage our food and our infrastructure, and yeah, the industry needs people like me who like study them and are, interested in the biology of it. So, I don't think I'll be going anywhere else anytime soon. Yeah.
Well, it's good to know that we're going to have you around for a while because, well, I plan on using a lot of your knowledge when I need it.
I love to hear that. Yeah, you'll be seeing me around for sure.
You are definitely a staple of our community.
Thank you. So are you both. Like truly, I feel like communities are only as strong or as good as like the people who lead them. The people who like are active in them and like build that culture. And you are both, administrators of really large groups. And yeah, it's super important to have people like that around to like to build the community. So thanks for what you do.
Yeah.
Always.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. We are definitely huge fans of you and your work. And we've seen you over time in these groups, and we're just like, oh my God, we love her. Like when you said you'd come on, we're just like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah, Jenny asked
It's
me a
my
few
pleasure.
weeks ago. She was like, "Who do you really want on?" And I was like, "Morgan Kerr. We have to get her on." Okay, I'm reaching out right
Absolutely.
now. Hell yeah.
You'll be
Yes.
here.
And you were
Yes.
always welcome back. You were always, welcome to join us on any episode that you were like,
Yes.
hey, that, like, if we post like, hey, we're doing stories about this, that, and the other, and you're like, dude, I have some stories for that. Cool, you can come join us.
Yes.
Love to hear that. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Before we go, though, Jenny, I
Yes.
saw you drinking out of something there. What was that?
This is a Tony Spangler mug, and we have to shout out
There we
our
go.
SpanglerArt.com sponsor here. They make amazing mugs, tumblers. They can do anything creative. Yeah, like they can do anything you want. Seriously. So go to SpanglerArt.com. They can do glittery. They can do anything you want. They are super talented.
Yes.
So
And
go
we even
there.
had them on an episode, so go listen to it as well.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, folks. So, yeah.
Do you have anything else to add? Do you have anything else you want to add, Morgan?
This is just that this has been really fun. Thank you so much for having me. It really has been my pleasure. I love these communities that we are all three a part of. And, I'm excited to see more of that. I, love the humor community, love the technical communities, and just like the branch off like bug identification community. Love Pestrogen, of course, because it's so important to have a space for this very niche group of women in pest control because, as you have talked about so many times, experiences are really unique, our needs are really like specific, and sometimes it just helps to talk to somebody who is in those same shoes and has like walked that mile. So thanks for having
Definitely.
me on, and thanks for having this community. I'm super excited to see where it goes.
Well, you are very welcome. And as always, thank you for joining us.
Yes. And thank you for being such an integral part of the humor community of PCHD, Pestrogen, just all the groups, literally all the groups. You are there, you are a presence, and we all look up to you so much because not only your knowledge, but just your heart too.
Yeah.
You have such a big heart, and we love you so much.
Oh, you guys! Thank you.
Yes. Yes, we love you so much. So, well, thank you so much for joining us for an episode of Pestrogen Podcast. And yes, this is an episode with Morgan.
Yes.
So, yep.
And happy
Thank you
birthday,
so
Jen.
much for joining us.
Yay!
Thank you. Thank you so much. Alrighty. Goodbye.
Go out and kick some ass.
Yeah. Go out and kick some ass.